Greetings everyone. Welcome back to Storytime Recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the films from 2015, Tale of Tales. Before we start, I hope your day be filled with sunshine and smile. Enjoy the story. This story is about there were 3 nearby kingdoms, each having a magnificent castle that housed princes and princesses as well as kings and queens. A fornicating libertine ruled by one monarch, a strange animal enthralled another, and a queen consumed by her desire to have a child. The first is an enchanted doe. The king and queen were entertained by a circus group. Soon the queen felt sad because she saw that one of the circus members was pregnant. The queen had not been blessed with a child yet. That was what made her heartbroken again. The king and queen of the kingdom of Long Trellis are unable to conceive. A necromancer claims that the queen will become pregnant at the expense of one life if she consumes the cooked heart of a sea dragon by a virgin. Wanting to please his queen, the king went to the sea monster's place to kill it, and took his heart. When the king stabbed the sea monster, the monster woke up and lashed its tail at the king's body, causing him severe injuries. After killing the sea dragon, the king succumbs to his wounds. The queen took the heart and told her servant to find a virgin to cook the giant's heart. When the virgin poured it into the pot, suddenly she felt uncomfortable and felt that her stomach was getting bigger and she was pregnant. After the queen consumes the heart, Elias, a son with hairs white as a dragon, is born the following day. Jonah, a boy, is also born to the cook. 2 kings came and gathered for the funeral of Elias' father that night. A few years later, Elias and the queen were playing in the yard. Meanwhile, Jonah came to meet Elias and they both left. The queen ordered her guards to find Elias, who was playing in the river with Jonah. The queen is angry with Jonah's mother for not forbidding her son from playing with Elias. That night the queen called Elias to the room and told him to choose earrings for him to wear. When Elias put the earrings on his mother noticed that he was not Elias but Jonah. The boys are inseparable friends who are exactly alike. The queen is so enraged by this. When Jonah wanted to go back to his house through the secret passage of Elias's room, the queen attacked him. That she tries to kill Jonah, but he escapes. Jonah that day wanted to leave, but Elias stopped him. Jonah tells Elias he is still alive and well as long as the tree root continues to spout clear water. As he leaves the kingdom and plunges a knife into it, blood begins to cloud the water. One day, Elias departs in search of Jonah. To no avail, the queen orders her subjects to look for Elias. That night Eckerman came and the necromancer accuses the queen, asserting that her violent desire can only be satisfied by violence and that the young men are genuinely inseparable. A few days ago Elias could not find Jonah and he returned to his kingdom, but Jonah's family thought he was Jonah and they asked where he went in those 5 days. They answered that he went to the forest. Elias continued to look for Jonah in the forest. In a cave, Elias finds Jonah injured. A monster threatens them, injuring Jonah, but delaying its attack until Elias kills it and gives Jonah back to his wife. The queen's corpse melds with the monsters in the cave. The old lady with flayed hair. He follows the singer to her house after hearing lovely music in his village one morning. He demands to sleep with the singer since he thinks a young, attractive maiden could only have such a lovely voice. King Strongcliffe was captivated by her voice, and he gave the singing woman a necklace. The vocalist is actually Dora, an ugly old lady who lives with her equally ugly sister Ima. At night before they want to sleep, King Strongcliffe comes to meet the voice he heard this morning, which makes his desire even more burning. Emma wants to tell him that it was all a mistake, but he was stopped by Dora. Dora didn't want to miss the rare opportunity she got. She also told the king to come within a week and she would give a part of her body to King Strongcliffe, that is her finger. During that week, Dora wanted to beautify her old finger, but it didn't work as she wanted. The king came on the day he fixed. Dora was worried about her promise. When Emma approached her, Dora saw her sister's finger, which is still beautiful, and uses it to King Strongcliffe. The king follows even though Dora won't open the door for him. In the end, she gives in to the king's solicitations provided they only have sexual relations behind closed doors. Following copulation, the king betrays his word. He orders Dora's guards to throw her out his window after realizing that she is an elderly woman and accuses her of deceiving him. She physically is healed by a witch who lives in the wood who gives her breast milk after she miraculously survives the fall from the king's tower. The king discovers the changed Dora while out hunting. She is a youthful, radiant woman and falls in love with her right away. Ima is invited to the wedding by Dora, because the king chooses to crown her as his queen. When Emma went to her sister's wedding, she was surprised by the appearance of the bride because she thought the bride was her sister. Dora called Emma and told her that she was her sister. Emma didn't believe that she was Dora because she was really beautiful. But Dora convinced her and Emma believe him, who assures her that she will be taken care of. But she is unable to stay at the castle. Ima is adamant about staying put and demands to know her sister's youthful, attractive secret. Dora expresses her frustration by saying she got flayed after being finally banished for invading the royal couple's privacy in their bedroom. Ima finds a suitor who is willing to trample her, leaving her mutilated and bleeding. The Flea. The High Hills King is a father and an inattentive monarch. His daughter Violet is now a young lady who, drawn to stories of passion. When his daughter made a special performance for him, the king was distracted by a magical flea that caused his daughter to feel sad because of his father's actions that did not pay attention to his performance. A flea captivates the king of High Hills, so much so that he keeps it as a pet in his chamber. The king is too busy spending time with a big magical flea that he has been covertly rearing to pay attention to his people. Under his guidance, the flea grows enormously and fed him with the leftover meat his daughter did not eat because the meat was still raw. That night the king had called the doctor, not for him but for his dying pet. When the doctor treated him suddenly thefla away, perpertendla from old age. The king chooses to skin it after it dies. When his daughter Violet tells him she wants to get married, he believes no one can guess the beast from which the skin was taken, so he offers Violet as a bride to the first person to do so. On the other hand, an ogre can detect the hide by scent, and his answer is correct. Violet wants to kill herself because she doesn't want to marry Orge, but her father insists he can't break his promise. Violet says her father never loved her, but she still goes through with the marriage. After Violet is taken to the ogre's cave, she is raped and held captive there. She pleads for help when she spots a circus act gathering flowers close to the cave one day. Violet is carried across the gorge that divides the ogre's cave from the surrounding area by the circus group using a tightrope. The ogre tries to follow, but before he can bridge the chasm, the performers cut the rope, sending him falling to the earth. The fall does not kill the ogre. After tracking down the circus performers, he kills them all. Violet seems to comply with his demands as he asks that she return to him, but she decapitates him with a dagger she took from the performers once the monster lets down his guard. Violet arrives back at the castle, where the king has become ill. She reveals that she has the ogre's head, the spouse he selected for her. The courtiers join the king in falling to their knees in tears. Violet starts crying too. Violet is being crowned queen. The audience watches as Violet's father leads her to the throne, and among the guests are Elias, Dora, and the king of Strongcliff. Elias gives her and the king of Strongcliff a nod there, and turns to face the performer who is balancing on a fire tightrope. We watch Dora's beauty start to wane and her silent escape from the castle.